music lovers. Today we are going to dig into one of my all-time favorite music theater songs, So in Love by Cole Porter from Kiss Me, Kate. This was written in 1948 at a time when Cole Porter was questioning what his place was in American musical culture. He, of course, was on top for so long, writing hit after hit, show after show in the 30s, early 40s. But then, of course, along came Rodgers and Hammerstein in 1943 and gave us Oklahoma, and then 2 years later gave us Carousel. And audiences were hungry for this new kind of storytelling when the songs were linked so deeply to character and situation. Hollywood wasn't calling anymore. Porter had a couple of flops, 7 Lively Arts, and Around the World in 80 Days, neither of which I'd ever heard of. And he didn't know really what his place was. Bella Spiewak, the playwright, and her husband Sam came to him and said, we've got this great idea for a show. It's based on Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew. It's a musical version of that, but within that we see what's happening backstage, so it's a show within a show. They were very excited about it. Cole Porter was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can write this new style. And it took a lot of convincing, but finally they got through to him, and he cranked out this score in about 4 months in 1948, so exactly 75 years ago, basically, and proved, of course, that he was every much the musical characterization master as he was a brilliant, brilliant lyricist. So we're at the beginning of the show. This is the 4th song in the show. We are in the dressing room of Lily Vanessy, who is the star of the show within the show. She has been contracted to play opposite her ex, Fred, and they are fighting all the time. Although we have just seen them have a little bit of a reminiscence about things used to be pretty good, right? This is the anniversary of their divorce. He has sent her a bouquet of flowers, not just any flowers, but her wedding bouquet, which is bold, to say the least. And of course it gets her, and she sings this song. The lyrics are, strange dear, but true dear, when I'm close to you, dear, the stars fill the sky, so in love with you am I. Porter's first brilliant choice was to set this in a minor key. Given that lyric, I don't know that I would have chosen a minor key. It's not obvious, but of course it's perfect for a woman who has been around the block with this guy, knows that things go badly, that they're always fighting. This is a love that is not the breath of fresh blooming youth, right? This is love that is full of sadness and pain and regret and rue and all of these things that make a wiser woman. Minor key, brilliant choice for that. Strange dear, but true dear. That is his first idea of the song. And when we talk about musical ideas, that's not what I consider makes a composer. Composers, that's their job. That's what we do. We have ideas. Ideas are cheap. It's what you do with the ideas. Entire symphonies can be written on 2 or 3 ideas. You don't need a lot of ideas. Here's his first idea. Strange dear, a half step. That's it. 2 notes, little half step. Dissonant interval, right? A dissonance is 2 notes that seem to clash, and the closer they are on the keyboard, the more they seem to clash. Half step is as close as you can get. So we have this dissonant melody that is echoed in the harmony. So we have C sharp, D, and we have on the word dear, which is interesting, this low C sharp, giving us this sharp dissonance, this C sharp versus D. Strange dear. Tells us everything we need to know about this woman and her conflicted love affair with this man with whom she has been through it. He does it again, but true dear. The chord changes, but we still have the same half step in the melody and this strong, strong, sharp dissonance on the word dear, again, in case you missed it the first time. Moving on, when I'm close. That's our second idea. Perfect fifth. Just intervals, barely ideas, as simple as can be. Half step, perfect fifth. And then he does it again. To you, dear. Perfect fifth, perfect fifth. Entire song based on 2 intervals. We are rising. The emotion is rising. Maybe she's trying to drag herself out from this self-pitying, this is the day of my divorce and he's sending me flowers. When I'm close to you, dear. What's great is that these perfect fifths also create a sharp dissonance. We still keep this half-step relationship between the melody and the piano part. We have C sharp to G sharp. We have an A in the chord when I'm close. Same thing here to you, dear. C sharp versus the D. The third time she's called him dear, and it sounds like this. We know what she thinks. The stars, and then we jump up a minor third. Little jump, fill the sky, and we have the half step backwards. We have a descending half step. Fill the sky. And we end on this A major chord here. First time we have a real, pure consonant major chord. They fill the sky. It's like she's forgotten about the pain for just a second, remembering what that feels like. But then immediately, even as she's holding the word sky, this note creeps in, this little bit of doubt. So in love with you. And then on you, there we go again with our sharp dissonance on the word you. So first it was dear, and now it's you. Every time she talks about him, we get this sound. That's what she thinks about him. Am I? Major chord, but it's a half cadence. Half cadence meaning it's 5, which means this is not a resting place. We can't end the song here, right? It needs to go there. It needs to resolve. We do the second A section, full of the same half steps, the same sharp dissonances. Even, there it is again, without you. Again, it's the word you. My arms fold, they fold about you, which sounds like a good thing, but when it's still full of dissonance, how good can it be? You know, different. Darling, why? First time, remember, we jumped up a minor third. The stars fill the sky. Here we have, you know, darling, why? We've raised it a step on the word darling, which is nice. Again, emotions are rising. You know, darling, why? Half diminished chord, really great color. That's why, because you sound like this. And then we finish up this second A section with this strange, ambiguous minor chord. So in love. Is it C sharp minor? Is it F sharp minor? We don't know. With you am I, but then a full cadence in A major, which is that A major that we heard in the first A section when she's talking about the stars fill the sky. That first glimpse of pure major consonants, that reminder that things actually were happy. We're going to now spend the whole bridge in this A major, the relative major of F sharp minor, which is the key of the song. And if we just listen to the chords, it's very pleasant. It's all in A major. In love with the night, mysterious, the night when you first were there. In love with my joy. So we get a hint of tension there, this mysterious diminished chord on the word joy, of course. More about that in a minute. Joy delirious, but we're still in A major, and now we make our way back. When I knew that you could care, and we end up on this half cadence like we did at the end of the first A. However, not everything is sunny like everything else in this song. He adds a pedal tone to this entire bridge, which on the surface seems very nice and pleasant. All he has to do is put this pedal tone down. A pedal tone is just a very low note that extends for many measures while chords are changing above. Of course, it comes from organs, right? You have the manuals, the keyboards that you play with your hands, and you have the pedals down below, and you can just put your foot down and hold a note for as long as you want. And that's what he's done. He has this A in the bass, and it doesn't go anywhere. In love with the night. So right away, this chord, which is just E7, put an A underneath it, and you get a sharp dissonance. The G sharp in the E7 chord is now sharply dissonant with this A that refuses to budge. Mysterious, the night when you first, there it is again, were there. And even underneath the chords that the A is not dissonant with, we still have this feeling of being stuck, of holding on to something. Is she holding on to an idealized version of this relationship? Is she stuck in the past at a time when they weren't fighting? Again, no right answers, but I like that. And then we get joy. In love with my joy, which again is now this mysterious diminished seventh chord, plus the A gives us a sharp dissonance all at the same time. Dissonance is just a great, great technique to interrogate the music of any song because it's easy to spot. It's just any two notes that are right next to each other on a keyboard that you can make next to each other on the keyboard. They don't have to be right next to each other, right? We can have a C sharp here and a D there. C sharp and D, though, you can put them right next to each other. They become a half step. Anytime you find a dissonance, that's a composer trying to add tension to a song. Songs are like stories. You need tension. You need to have conflict. A story without tension is boring. It's dramatically inert. And when we're writing for music theater, we need drama. We need tension. We need something to hope for, something to root for, a direction to move in. Melodies, songs without tension are boring. They don't tell story. He has added tons of dissonance, tons of tension here. So that's always a great thing to look for in your songs. Where has the composer added dissonance, added tension? The other easy thing to look for is contour, which is just the shape of your melody line. Am I rising? Am I falling? Am I singing very low? Am I singing very high? Let's look at the contour of this song. Let's look at the high notes. First high note we have is the stars fill the sky. Just a D. We saw that at the end of the second A section, he jumps up a fourth this time. You know, darling, why? So E is the top note now. Middle of the bridge, in love with my joy. We've gone up another half step. So it was a D, then it was an E, and now it is an F natural. And he leads us now back down to the half cadence. Coming around again one last time. The last A section, same as the first two. We have the same dissonances, that same half step plus a perfect fifth. Taunt me, jokes on me, and hurt me again. I know what I'm doing. I know that it hurts, and I'm going to come back for more. Deceive me, perfect fifth. Desert me, perfect fifth. And now I'm yours. Remember the first time it was a minor third and then it was a perfect fourth, and now we get our third perfect fifth. I'm yours till I die. He's finally taken us up that full perfect fifth. He's led us up the high note also. Remember that was D, E, F natural. We're finally up to the F sharp now. Till I die. And that chord I think is his most brilliant stroke. The word die, he gives us again that A major chord, that chord that symbolizes everything that was good, without a hint of conflict, without a hint of tension. When a composer is using tension and dissonance smartly, it's not only interesting where they have tension, but where they have avoided tension. And here on the word die, which could have been set, till I die, sad, right? Nope. Till I die, fully major. Nothing is ever simple for this character. It is both pain and joy, right? It hurts so good. This is what Porter was able to do, and he doubted himself. He thought that he wasn't able to pull this off. Incredible. Die on the major chord. I'm going to keep coming back to it, even though it may kill me. He quickly slides out of that, and we get into this great coda, this ending section that's built entirely on half steps. So in love, so in love, so in love with you, my love. They're all half steps. finally we end up in our A major, and the entire song ends up here. And even though it's the fourth song in the show, we already know they're going to end up together. They're made for each other. Doesn't matter how much it hurts. Doesn't matter how much tension we go through. We're always going to end up in A major. Can you believe that Porter thought he couldn't do this? Such brilliant characterization through music, through dissonance, through contour, so tightly structured, so compact, so efficient. Two ideas, barely ideas, right? They're just two intervals, a half step and a perfect fifth. It's all there. So much to use as you're looking through a song. Sit there, look for dissonances. It's like having the composer right next to you. That's all for today. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. I'm going to keep coming out with these for you. I will see you next time. Thanks.